Sorry to do this, but enough is enough.
That's a scene from the 1980 feature Popeye, director Robert Altman's live-action take on the beloved cartoon character. Popeye is just one of thousands of iconic characters and creative works that have just entered the public domain in 2025. On January 1st, the copyright protections on well-known comic strips, books, films, and musical compositions from the year 1929 have all expired, making them available to anyone to copy, share, and reimagine for their own personal or public use at no cost. Errol Barnett has the story.
If you grew up in the 20th century, chances are you've seen countless Popeye the Sailor cartoons, either after school or on a Saturday morning. But the spinach-loving, pipe-smoking sailor first made his public debut in a 1929 newspaper comic strip called Thimble Theatre, created by E.C. Segar.
What is it, Snowy?
That same year, Belgian cartoonist Georges Remy developed The Adventures of Tintin, seen here in Steven Spielberg's 2011 animated film about the young cub reporter and his dog Snowy. It also started out as a comic strip. Popeye, Tintin, and Snowy all turned 95 years old this year, ushering them into the public domain, according to U.S. copyright law. They join the likes of other characters that have already passed over, including Sherlock Holmes, Tarzan the Ape Man, Winnie the Pooh, and most famously, Mickey Mouse.
Please welcome back to The Late Show, Mr. John Oliver.
This is Steamboat Mickey, which is in the public domain now. Therefore, he can help with promoting any non-Disney related show, and it's great to have the mouse here.
Wow.
The public domain every year is a time capsule. It's a snapshot of a moment in time, in history.
I recently had the chance to meet up with Jennifer Jenkins, a professor at Duke University's School of Law and an expert in intellectual property. What does it mean when a work comes into the public domain?
It means that its copyright expires, in this case after 95 years, and the work becomes freely available for anyone to use and build upon without permission or fee.
And how will that open the floodgates of not just consumption of the material, but a reinterpretation of these works?
I'm so glad you asked that, because it goes well beyond consumption to reinterpretation. First, I would like to thank Christopher Nolan, because he's just announced that he's going to make a version of Homer's The Odyssey, which has always been in the public domain. It predated copyright law. And so in 2026, his interpretation, his mythic, epic action thriller, star-studded cast, will be one of the many works that's reinterpreted. And so that's one concrete example of what the public domain enables. What about the movie Wicked? It's built upon the public domain books, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum.
Of course, not all public domain works that are reimagined improve or even do justice to the original. There is a risk to these characters turning from, beloved children's characters to villains in slasher horror movies. We also saw this with Winnie the Pooh.
Yes. The low-budget slasher flick appears to be an inevitability when these beloved characters enter the public domain. Like you said, it happened with Winnie the Pooh, happened with Mickey, and there's already an announced flick called Popeye the Slayer Man. What do I make of that? I think they're buzzworthy in the short term because of the incongruity between the original character and this new genre. But I think in the long term, they're not the kind of works that we're still going to be talking about in 5 or 10 years, that stand the test of time.
A million lights, they flicker there.
On the cinematic front, movies released in 1929 and what was known as the beginning of talkies, or the sound era, have also entered the public domain, including MGM's musical, The Broadway Melody, and the Marx Brothers' first feature, The Coconuts.
How do you do? What are you boys giving me the runaround? Come over here.
Imagine for the first time sitting in a theater and being able to watch a movie and hear the sound that's synchronized with what's on the screen. It's an amazing moment. So we got the first sound films in 1929 by Alfred Hitchcock, Cecil B. DeMille, John Ford, Harold Lloyd, Clara Bow, who was the it girl and sex symbol of the time.
Famous books are also up for grabs.
There are some literary masterpieces going into the public domain in 2025. They include Ernest Hemingway's A Farewell to Arms, William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury, Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, and also from the hard-boiled detective genre, the first appearance of the Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett.
I'm singing in the rain.
Among the musical compositions anyone can now record, Singin' in the Rain, immortalized in the 1952 Gene Kelly musical of the same name. It originally appeared in the film The Hollywood Review of 1929.
Hey, misbehaving, saving my love for you.
Fats Waller's classic Ain't Misbehavin', and Tiptoe Through the Tulips, made famous by the comedian Tiny Tim in the late 1960s. Do we lose anything by someone's original work entering the public domain and not being credited or paid for it?
The original copyright holder has already benefited from 95 years of protection. The vast majority of culture is not making money for anyone after 95 years, or even 75 years, or even 50 years. So for the vast majority of works from 1929, no one's losing anything because they're out of circulation. But now we all gain because we can share them, we can rescue them from obscurity, we can make them available, and we can discover, enjoy, and breathe new life into them.
Brendan, who produced it, knows me well because I was like, oh, does that mean we can start singing in the rain right now, and we don't have to pay anybody for it?
I am what I am, and that's all that we are.
Oh, look at the Popeye reference. I love it. Can't wait to see. I think that slasher name will last, Popeye the Slayer.
Slayer, oh,
At least the
absolutely.
name.